I want to start this lesson by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekach, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles and teachers and wise men, a great millstone that I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Salutations out there to the elect. I want to start this lesson right here in the book of Jeremiah 5. Let's get to the point. Verse 26, it says, "For among my people are found wicked men." Now, when it says my people, it's talking about, this is Jeremiah speaking of the wicked of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you Israelites out there, how you're wicked. How among many of you are wicked. You see, not all, but many of you Israelites out there, you have become wicked. You've followed after the ways of these heathens. You've learned their works, and you don't seek the Lord. You don't follow after the ways of righteousness. You see, it says, they lay wait as he that setteth snares, they set a trap, they catch man. And when I play this video, you'll understand what that means, because that guy in the video, he caught a lot of, men, through his, to fulfill his sexual escapades or his sexual desires. Verse 27, it says, "As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich." Verse 28, "They are waxen fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked." You see, and that's a lot of our people. They do worse than these other nations. They do more wickedly than these other nations. It says, "They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. And the right of the needy do they not judge." All right, verse 29, it says, "Shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this?" You see, and the Lord, when you watch this video, the Lord visited that guy. That's why he got the judgment that he got in the video. So let's play the video. We got some context. Now let's play the video. Salakia. It says, "Former JCPS teacher, basketball coach," which is a gym. That's some type of gym exercise that a lot of kids do. Basketball. It says, "Sentenced to 70 years for sexually abusing boys."
A public school teacher and basketball coach convicted of Former Jefferson County public school teacher and basketball coach convicted of sexually abusing teenage boys is sentenced to 70 years. Morris's first trial ended in a mistrial before a second jury found him guilty on all counts. Joyce O'Geary was in court when he learned his fate.
Jurors recommended 165 years for Christopher Morris, but the judge handed down Kentucky's maximum sentence with both the victims and Morris's families in the courtroom.
"I must follow the law. The law requires that your 165-year sentence be reduced to 70 years.
Former Jefferson County Public Schools teacher and basketball coach would spend decades behind bars after being sentenced in a child sex abuse case. Christopher Morris was convicted in January on 27 counts, including sodomy and sexual abuse.
The court wants to acknowledge the courage and the bravery of the victims who came forward to tell their stories."
According to...
It said sodomy and sexual abuse, you see? And that's a lot of our people. They learn after the ways of the heathen, you see? Let's get another scripture in the book of, let's see, First Maccabees. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, First Maccabees, chapter 1. Let's start at, let's see, Salakia, verse 11. It says, "In those days went out of Israel wicked men," you see, the wicked of our people, "who persuade many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us." And that's what a lot of the wicked of our people do. They make covenants with these heathens, which means what? They agree. They agree with what they do. They agree upon their wickedness, you see. So they make a covenant with them. You see? So this guy right here, he made a covenant with the heathen. You see? That's why he was a gym basketball coach. You see? And that allowed him to be what? be around young boys that he eventually abused. You see? So he made a covenant with the so-called white man to do that. You see? All right, let's go back to it. It says, let us make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, which a lot of the wicked of our people do. You see, they trim their ways to seek love from these heathens so they become just like them. They learn their works. And the white man, the so-called white man, because he's not white, he's red. The so-called white man, he's known to be, not upright. He's known to be wicked. He's known to commit such abominable acts, sleeping with the same sex. It says, for since we departed from them, these heathens, we have had much sorrow, you see? So a lot of the rebels of our people, the wicked of our people, they think that it's a bad thing to depart from these heathens. You see, a lot of them don't seek the Lord. So they think that following the ways of the heathen is right in their eyes. But like the scriptures say, that there is a way that seemeth right to a man, but the way thereof is, as a matter of fact, let's get that because I don't want to butcher it. So like it. There is. So like yeah. I know it's in the book of Proverbs. Let's get it. Proverbs. Salaki. Yeah, it's in the book of Proverbs. Salaki. Proverbs 14:12. It says, "There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." You see. So in his eyes, he think that it's, or in the wicked of our people's eyes, they think that it's right to follow after the white man, but the end thereof, or the so-called white man, but the end thereof is the ways of death. This is another one, Proverbs 16:25. "There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." And the scriptures also say that he is as death and as hell and cannot be satisfied. You see, he decreases his Salakia. He increase it, not decrease it. Salakia. I'm getting excited. Let me slow down. There's a scripture that says the so-called white man, he increases his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. You see? So a lot of our people, they think that it's right to follow after the ways of the so-called white man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Because that goes back to sin. The wages of sin is death. All right. It says, "For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrows." So this device or scheme pleased them well. You see? So a lot of our people are pleased to follow after the way of these heathens, particularly the so-called white man. It says, "Then certain of the people were so forward there herein," which is proud, haughty, "that they went to the king," to the white man, "who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen." Verse 14, "Whereupon they built a place of exercise." Now, let's see, what was he? He's a basketball coach, right? You see, he's a place of exercise, a basketball gym or a basketball court, you see? So it says, "Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen." You see? So a basketball court is a custom of the heathen that a lot of our people follow. So I'm not surprised that this wicked Israelite got judged by the Lord. You see? Now he has to spend 70 years in jail.
The court documents, 2 victims told investigators they were sexually abused multiple times between the ages of 14 and 16. The investigation began in 2022 when a 17-year-old boy first came forward with allegations. At the time, Morris worked as a teacher with Jefferson County Public Schools and also coached basketball in the district and for a traveling AAU team.
Not only did you exploit your position as a coach and mentor to these boys, but you hijacked religion to manipulate them to do what you were really interested in, illegal sex acts, when all they were interested in and wanted to do was one simple thing: play basketball.
Morris defense attorney Clay Kennedy asked the judge to consider a reduced sentence, noting Morris had a misdemeanor conviction in 1999 and no other criminal history.
If the court did reduce his sentence to 20 years, which based on his age right now, which is 55, that means he would be looking at parole eligibility in his mid-70s.
But prosecutors urged the court to consider the victims during sentencing.
The victims chose not to make a statement to the court, but I would call upon their statements during the sentencing phase of the jury trial.
The court also ordered Morris to have no contact with the victims or their families. Joyce O'Geary, WLKY.
All right, and he got the judgment he deserved. And that's what happens when you follow after the ways of the heathen. You see? Let's end with this scripture right here in the book of Jeremiah 10. Jeremiah 10, verse 1. It says, "Hear ye the word of the Lord, Yahweh." The Lord's name is Yahweh. Speak it. It says, "Hear ye the word which the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, speaketh unto you, O house of Israel." Verse 2. "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen," you see, "and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them," you see. And that's what a lot of our people have done. They've learned the way of the heathen, not realizing that that's the way of death. And that's going to lead to their own destruction. All right, I'll end the lesson here. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekak, Kodash.
Simple thing. Really interested in.
Shalom.